Tonight, breaking news: the desperate search for the missing after catastrophic and deadly flash flooding in central Texas, and now the tropical storm churning toward the Carolina coast. First, the disaster declaration expanding across Texas. More than 40 people killed, including children. The number of missing still unclear, but at least 27 girls from a Christian camp are unaccounted for. The agonizing wait for parents and loved ones. Homes, roads, and vehicles washed away in the raging floodwaters along the Guadalupe River. Helicopters, drones, and boats joining the multi-agency search and rescue efforts. Hundreds evacuated and rescued. The stories of survival. And tonight, the promise from the Texas governor. And Tropical Storm Chantal now threatening the southeast. Warnings issued for parts of the Carolinas and along the East Coast. Our weather team tracking it all. A massive wildfire in Central California exploding in size overnight. The so-called Madre Fire, now the largest blaze in the state so far this year. And the new evacuation orders. July 4th fireworks explosions leaving several injured on boats in Alabama and Georgia. This just the latest in a series of fireworks mishaps. What we're learning tonight. The garbage pileup in Philadelphia in the summer heat. Union workers walking off the job, but negotiations resuming today as the strike enters a fifth day. The high stakes for both sides. An emotional goodbye for soccer star Diogo Jota. Family and teammates joined mourners as the Liverpool player was laid to rest in Portugal. A big showing by an American at Wimbledon, ousting the defending champ. And America Strong tonight, life after a shark attack. Meet the inspiring athletes paying it forward.
From ABC News.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. Now, as you can see, the Lord's always working. He's always working, man. And there's plenty of precepts that show you he doesn't just visit you, with evil spirits, but a lot of these storms, Salakia, they are spirits. Okay, these storms, these different events, these animals. He'll put an animal to work. He'll put a storm to work. He'll put his creation to work, man. And ultimately, it's all spiritual. So the Lord has plenty of ways to come get you if you ain't right. Okay, but going back to the storm with, kids missing, and I think they were at as a matter of fact, let's go back into that, see which one they start off with, because I guess a bunch of girls were missing. Let me tell you something, man. Nothing is by coincidence. You got to know, no matter what. Now, this is not no survival, survival video or whatever, but it's just to show that the Lord, first of all, it's ultimately to expose Esau. He uses these different storms. There's a slogan, he says, never let a good crisis go to waste. So a situation like a flood, he'll take full advantage of that to take some kids, man. Okay, just like Hurricane Katrina, there was rumors that they were even putting Jake to death. Jake looking for help. They'll kill your ass, man. All right, and I say that to say, just like the scriptures say, man, don't fall asleep out here, man. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 12:10. Also known as Sirach, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So the so-called white man is the devil. So he's always going to use an opportunity to come get you, man. So don't be dumb, man. A lot of these, especially if you down south, man, it's bad, man. But these are spirits that are created for vengeance. Let me grab that too. Okay, because the Lord also is merciful. He'll make even your enemies be at peace with you. So for some people, he can put the spirit on them to do good, and For some people, man, it's judgment time. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 39 and verse number 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So showing you that fire and hail, there's a fire in last year was in LA. Now there's another fire somewhere on the West Coast. Those are spirits. This hail, the famine and death, all these were created for vengeance to appease the Lord. Teeth of wild beasts, so he can use the animals to appease his Lord. That's another spirit that he could use. And scorpions and serpents and the sword, which is Esau, according to Psalms, the 17th chapter, punishing the wicked to destruction. Okay. They shall rejoice in his commandments. So these spirits are rejoicing. Oh, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai told me to go put old boy to death today, man. They're not going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to get old boy. No, they're going to rejoice to do it. And they shall be ready upon earth when need is. Okay, so these spirits are going to be ready. They're waiting for the commandment of the Lord to do what they're created to do. Okay, brothers always go into videos of weird shit, but they don't look at it like, we don't look at it like, you know, once you come into this truth, man, it's a whole, it's a change of mind, man. You're going to start looking at things as spiritual, man. Like the Lord, just like it says in, let me grab it. First Kings. Let me see. Ramoth Gilead. I think it's First Kings, the 22nd chapter. Let me just grab it. Ahab's third campaign against Aram. So First Kings 22 and 19. It says, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord Yahweh. And it's in all caps, it's Yahweh. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne. And Yahweh means he exists. Okay. And that's the Most High. I saw the Lord Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven. The host is an army, okay, of heaven, standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? So this is in heaven, man. This is at his throne, okay, spiritual realm, or so to speak. And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So here it is, these spirits, he's asking them, he wants Ahab to die. And these spirits are saying, yo, we could do it like this, Lord. I'll go do it like this. Another one's given a different manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. So he was all right with that plan. Okay. And he's not going to tell him to do something that he doesn't see, something that's not going to work. You know, he knows it's going to appease him, man. That's why you know what, that was a good idea. You know what? Yeah, do him like that. You know, now therefore, behold, the Lord have put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord have spoken evil concerning thee. But Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, which way went the spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. And the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus say the king, put this fellow in the prison and feed him with the bread of affliction and with the water of affliction until I come in peace. And Micaiah said, if thou return at all in peace, the Lord have not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you. So Micaiah, who's a prophet, was trying to warn but they hate the prophets, man. Israel hates listening to the prophets. Micah or Micaiah, who is like God. So, this is a prophet, and he's trying to tell you the words of the Lord, because the Lord speaks through his servants, the prophets. He speaks through his prophets. Okay. The prophets are the mouthpiece of the Most High. Now let's go and see how his counsel was taken out. First Kings 22 and 29. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah. So Israel and Judah are two separate kingdoms. Okay, this is after the split of King Solomon. I believe that was in First Kings, the 11th chapter. So after King Solomon, the kingdom split into Israel, which is the northern kingdom, and Judah, which is the southern kingdom. But were all Israelites. For those of you who don't know that, went up to Ramoth Gilead, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter into the battle, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into the battle. Okay. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over his chariots, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. So he just wanted the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, surely it is the king of Israel. And they turned aside to fight against him, and Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture. And this is that spirit. This is the spirit that the Lord created. Okay. It says, and a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even, and the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. So the Lord put his ass to death. Okay, so he was successful. They didn't want to take the counsel of Micaiah, and they went into battle and didn't listen, and he got put to death. So that's a spirit that's created for vengeance. Okay. So same thing with the with these storms and these different things that are happening in the world. As a matter of fact, let's just skip over. I want to get to this missing kids, these missing kids. Let me get to it. I want to skip it. Let's get to this.
Weather team is standing by with the forecast, but first, ABC's Maria Villarreal leads us off tonight from Kerrville, Texas.
Tonight, deadly flash flooding engulfing several parts of Texas. Authorities say at least 40 killed. 3 deaths are being linked to major flooding in Travis County overnight, and at least 11 are still missing. The San Gabriel.
See? And just to show that he'll do something like that, I want to grab there's a couple of precepts. I'm going to start in the book of Isaiah 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So that storm and tempest, he'll visit you that way. Okay, he'll take out 40 in one swipe, and that's just a small number. He said in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, he gonna make sure he gonna come in great numbers, great earthquakes, shit like that is going to happen. 2nd Ezra 5 and 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, which are signs, behold, meaning look, the day shall come, shall meaning in the future, that they which dwell upon the earth, we're alive, we're all on the earth. If you're hearing this, you're alive, you're dwelling upon the earth, shall be taken in a great number. Okay, something that is great. Let's look up this word great. Let's look up great. And this is what our apostles and elders always tell us to do, man, is look up these words, man. Of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the normal or average. Okay, so an earthquake, you might get a couple deaths, but imagine 50,000 like he did in Turkey. Unheard of things, man. That's what we're going to be seeing. Let me see if I finish that precept. Okay. And the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Because y'all weren't, a lot of people, they during this liberty time, they weren't listening, like they never listened, man. And ultimately, according to Isaiah 6 and 9, the Lord, he didn't want you to know about this truth, man. And I'm just going to grab it. Isaiah 6 and 8. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And that's another thing. Here it is. You read up, Isaiah was taken into the spiritual world, and you can read the whole chapter, but he's a messenger. It's like an angel's a messenger, and here it is, he's saying, send me. Okay, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. And that's the same thing that's going on with Israel today. You tell them, you speak to them about the prophecies. They hear ye indeed, meaning they hear you indeed. They know you're talking, but they understand not, because this isn't for everybody. And they see that you know what you're talking about, but they don't perceive it. Okay, make the heart of this people fat, meaning your mind. Your heart is your mind, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. So he said, make the heart of this people fat. He don't want them to, if your heart's fat, your mind's full, it can't receive anymore anything new. It's like an old wine bottle, you just, your mind, your ears are heavy, meaning like you just, how I think of that is like when a boxer got that, um, what do you call it? Like a boxer's ear. Boxer's ear. Boxer's ear, also known as cauliflower ear, is a condition where the ear's outer cartilage becomes deformed due to repeated trauma or injury. This injury often occurs in contact sports like boxing, wrestling, and martial arts. And that's what this world is, that's what it's doing to you. It's literally kicking your ass and you ain't doing nothing about it. It happens when blood or other fluids accumulate under the parochondrium, the tissue covering the cartilage, causing it to detach and potentially leading to permanent deformation if not treated promptly. Okay, it says symptoms: the form ear, and it says the affected ear may be painful and swollen, especially immediately after the injury. So that's him making your ear fat. That's what, or ears heavy. As a matter of fact, let's go into these words. Let's go into these words. The ears. Let's see what it's talking about. The ear as part of the body, as organ of hearing, to uncover the ear, to reveal the receiver of divine revelation. So not just your regular ear, it's really your spiritual ear, man. He don't want your spirit to receive this knowledge. Let's look at this word heavy. It says to be heavy, be weighty, be grievous, be hard, be rich, be honorable, be glorious, be burdensome, be honored, insensible, be dull, be made abundant. Okay. To honor oneself, to make oneself heavy, make oneself dense, make oneself numerous. Let's look at Strong's definitions. Kabod, primitive root, to be heavy. In a bad sense, burdensome, severe, dull, or in a good sense, rich. Yeah, it's in a bad sense. Like this word is like a burden to you. You don't even want to hear it. It's like it's like unresponsive. That's a good way of putting it, man. You're just not receiving it. Okay, you're unresponsive to the word. He don't want you to get it. Okay, that's probably the best example out of all those in context, because that's what it's talking about. And the Lord, Isaiah 6:12, have removed men far away, and there be, Salakia. Let me read Isaiah 6:10. Make the heart of this people fat, talking about you Israelites, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes lest they see with their eyes. So, it's very spiritual going on. It's like spiritually you're being blocked from this, and we see it. We see Isaiah 6:9 play out when we're talking to people. You can tell they're not receiving what we're actually saying. They don't really resonate with them. So what we do is we try to just get up out of that and kind of, but the seed's planted. Sometimes, you Jake need to hear it multiple times. And the more these judgments start to go out, people are gonna be asking, why is this happening? Okay, and maybe then you'll start to receive it. But the scriptures tell you in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, 2nd Esdras 9, and I start at 10. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law, meaning they despised it, while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. So that's the only way you're going to learn is to get put to death. These judgments are not, you don't see these judgments as a form of you need to get your shit together. But you should. Most brothers, everybody, and I ain't perfect, but hey, I'm striving. And that's better than not being in it. I mean, unless the scriptures tell you that if you didn't hear this word, you should be beaten with few stripes, but you still gonna be. Let me grab it because I know I'm chopping it up. Few stripes. Luke 12:47. Let's go there real quick. Luke 12:47 to 49. I'll start at 46. The Lord, let's start at 45. And if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, meaning cut him in two, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers, which is destruction. And the servant which knew his Lord's will, okay, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So someone like in my position, I've learned, the scriptures, I've believed, I went out on the highways and hedges and prophesying, I'm trying to wake up the elect to the best of my ability. So this would be when you see brothers out there, they fall under this because they know the will, because they're actually doing the work. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. So If you know and then you stop, you're gonna be beaten with many stripes. But if you didn't know at all, you still gonna be beaten. So the best thing to do is to do the work and hope you just get saved. Okay. For doing the work, and that he'll take care of you. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him will they ask the more. So you got to keep going, man. Okay. Because Israel, man, honestly, they need to be fed, man. Okay. Isaiah, and not everyone got this knowledge, and not everybody, I mean, it's only a few brothers, compared to 8 billion people in the world, man. It's just a small sanctuary, man. As a matter of fact, I don't want to get too far off, but I need to study too. I think that's Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel. Precepts in Ezekiel. I can't remember where it's at. I think it's 5 and 11. No. Yep, 11 and 16. Ezekiel 11 and 16. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord God, and this means Yahweh too, on all caps, God. Although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. So this little sanctuary is the brothers that you see, just a small. That's who the Lord's dealing. The Lord's dealing with the smaller numbers, but he can be glorified like that. Okay, he can wake up the elect with just a few. He don't need a whole bunch of people with his word. He'll do what this shows you how power, it's all to glorify the Lord. Okay, Ezekiel 11 to 16, man, that little sanctuary, and that's what you see. A little sanctuary, those who receive this truth. Okay, and I hope, did I grab my precepts? Sometimes the spirit it'll take you away. Isaiah 29 and 6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Okay. Isaiah 28 and 2. Behold, the Lord have a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. So this is talking about Ephraim's captivity predicted. And this storm is a symbology of how the Lord's going to bring forth his judgment. When it came to the northern kingdom, he brought in the Assyrians as a storm, as a form of judgment. But he can literally use an army, or he can use a storm too. Okay. And as we see, just like with that storm, what type of storm that is, man, that's the storm that hit Texas, is a good indication of the Lord's judgment. Nahum 1 and 3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm. In the clouds are the dust of his feet. So he'll have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm. So that's him having his way. And you see our people, man, they don't see the flood, and there's a flood coming. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he know he got a short time left, and he's going to use him as that form of destruction or judgment, just like the storm that we're seeing in Texas. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Okay, so the devil's talking about Esau. Okay, Rejoice in ye heavens of those who have this truth. Yet the heavens. Woe means death and destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Is talking about the people that dwell upon the earth. Okay. These judgments are coming. Okay. Isaiah 30. Just like a flood. Isaiah 30 and 13. Therefore, this iniquity, which is your sin, which is your rebellion against the Lord, shall be to you as a breach ready to fall. A breach is like when a dam's starting to leak. You see water coming through, but it got past the defense, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. So we're telling you there's a breach coming, and it's Esau, but you're ignoring it. So it's gonna come, breaketh forth suddenly in an instant for you. And he shall break it as a breaking of the potter's vessels that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it assured to take fire from the earth, or to take water withal out of the pit. So it's going to destroy you. Okay, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do. Okay, but let's go a little bit more into this.
Gabriel River today also overflowing, flash floods there prompting evacuations. And in Kerrville, just northwest of San Antonio, first responders continue to battle treacherous conditions as the death toll rises to at least 43, 15 of them children. Authorities now saying they are moving from rescue to recovery.
What makes you feel like this has gone from rescue to potential recovery? Because there is a difference.
We will eventually get to the recovery.
Crews searching for the countless still missing from those devastating 4th of July floods. But those still missing include over 24 young girls from Camp Mystic. These images showing the
over 24 young girls. I'm telling you, this fucking devil, man. This devil. He loves kids, man. This is Esau we're talking about. He's a weird, profane person. Let me see. Where is that? I'm thinking Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he have made crooked? And that's talking about Esau. He's crooked. He's not straight. He's not upright. He'll do some shit like this, man. And y'all don't believe it till it's too late. Y'all ain't gonna believe him. Y'all worship this devil, man. Habakkuk 2 and verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up, meaning he's proud, is not upright in him. So he's not upright. You know, when you stand on 2 feet, he's that serpent in the garden. On your belly shut, that's him. Okay, Genesis 3 and 14, and the Lord Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go. Exactly, upon your belly, man. That's Esau. Imagine someone standing up and someone standing up and someone walking on there, you know, slithering like a snake. Spiritually, he's just not upright. Okay, in the dust thou eat all the days of thy life. Okay, you're gonna be in confusion. Okay, and he's profane, man. And you can see that with the Talmud. Look into that shit, man. Type of shit that they're into. Jeremiah 6 and 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. Okay, so you want to reject the Lord, you're going to be rejected. Okay. This is why you want to at least know what's written in this book to the best of your ability. I was going over some things on this. There's plenty of brothers putting up videos Go through the posts. I share some videos I watch, even if it's not brothers teaching. Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 10. Actually, let me start at 9. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord God, because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar. Yeah, so when you building up a wall, you want to have, let's look at this word. Tempered, having, let's see what untempered means. Not moderated, lessened by anything. Untempered mortar. Meaning, in construction, untempered mortar is mortar that has not been properly mixed or prepared, lacking the necessary consistency and strength for building. In a metaphorical sense, particularly in religious texts like the book of Ezekiel, untempered mortar symbolizes deceptive or flimsy foundations, false teachings, or a lack of genuine spiritual depth. So they're lies, ultimately. This untempered mortar, you think you can trust in what you were told, but we're telling you, check that mortar because it's flimsy, it's false. It won't stand against what we're telling you here. These false Amalekites, I'll say, they don't fit the scriptures, man. And if you believe they are the people, then what else? What other lies do you believe in? Do you believe you don't believe the scriptures? You don't believe as it is written. You don't believe in Yahweh Shai. Okay, you think the Lord's a so-called white man. This is all untempered mortar. Okay, and if you believe that, you probably only know John 3:16, and you think God loves everybody. Meanwhile, he's putting people to death every single day, and you ain't seeing it. That's your eyes. That's that Isaiah 6 and 9. You literally seeing death every single day, and you think God love everybody. Because and that's Israel, man. That's Isaiah 6 and 9. Ezekiel 13 and 11. Say unto them that daubed it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and ye of great hailstones shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherewith ye have daubed it? Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will even rend it with a stormy wind in my fury, and there shall be an overflowing shower in my anger, and great hailstones in my fury to consume it. So will I break down the wall that ye have daubed with untempered mortar, and bring it down to the ground, so that the foundation thereof shall be discovered. Yeah, so which he wants to expose those lies, and it shall fall, and ye shall be consumed in the midst thereof, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Thus will I accomplish my wrath upon the wall, and upon them that have daubed it with untempered mortar, and will say unto you, the wall is no more, neither they that daubed it. Whoo. So you're going to be destroyed. To wit, the prophets of Israel, which prophesy concerning Jerusalem, and which see visions of peace for her, and there is no peace, saith the Lord God. So he's telling you there's no peace, man. And don't think, oh, this is the Old Testament, man. This ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen. Let's go to the New Testament then. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 26. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And that's a lot of y'all. When these judgments start coming out, you're gonna be destroyed. Okay, you're not gonna be able to stand. Okay, Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So you need to be stable with wisdom, because if you don't have it, then like a thief in the night, man, you're gonna be destroyed. First Thessalonians 5 and hold on, no. Is this First Thessalonians? I thought, oh nope, First Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Like when a woman water break, that baby's coming forth. Just like them saying peace and safety, hey man, you might as well believe something gonna happen. Because it is gonna happen. And we're telling you that the destruction's coming. Esau, Edom, the flood. Okay, why? Because of the blessing. Okay, all goes back to Genesis, the 25th chapter. As a matter of fact, I'll go to Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So he knows he about to go into serving Israel. That's that short time. Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay. So he's always had a perpetual hatred for Jake, not because of your skin color. It's because you're blessed with a blessing. Your forefathers. The Most High. He thinks he's the Most High. He's the devil. Psalm 62 and 3. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. Let's see what a bowing wall is. Given. Okay. A bowing wall refers to a foundation or retaining wall that is leaning or bulging inward, typically due to excessive pressure from the soil surrounding it. Let's look at some images. Just like a dam about to crack and bring forth destruction. That pressure is building up, and we're seeing it with these different unrighteous decrees. This is a good picture here. See that bowing wall, there's a bow in the wall because the pressure on the outside, and guess what? It's going to knock and that's your foundation. Your house is built upon this. Okay? Your house is what you believe in, man. It's you. You're the tabernacle. Okay? And so that's a bowing wall shall ye be. Ye shall be slain, all of you. Slain mean get put to death. Okay? As a bowing wall shall ye be. You're going to be, that pressure's going to make you collapse. And as a tottering fence. Let's look at tottering fence. A tottering fence metaphorically represents instability, vulnerability, and impending collapse. It's often used to describe a person or situation that is weak, shaky, and easily overcome, like a fence leaning and about to fall. This imagery is particularly used in religious and literary contexts to convey a sense of fragility and the need for reliance on a stronger foundation. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. You need a stronger foundation, man, or you're going to be like that bowing wall in that tottering fence. Okay. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. Yeah, there ain't going to be any way to save you. Okay. Without remedy. Okay. So you want to have Yahweh Shai as your foundation. I think that's the book of Luke, chapter 6. Builders and foundations, Luke 6 and 46. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built a house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock, and that rock is Yahweh Shai. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built a house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Okay, meaning you're gonna trust in this world for stability, something other than Yahweh Shai, and it's gonna fall. Okay, it's gonna fall if you trust in anything else. And a good example of that is Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. So you don't want to be trusting in anything other than Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Because if you do, you're going to be destroyed. Okay. I mean, that's the best way to put it. You're just going to, you're going to be destroyed, man. Okay. And people think the Most High is like some type of joke. He's not. He's no respecter of persons. He's not the God that you thought he was, man. Hosea 13 and 16. Samaria shall become desolate, for she have rebelled against her God. And it's talking about the northern kingdom. They shall fall by the sword. The sword's talking about the Assyrians. At the time, the Lord was using the Assyrians as a form of judgment. Their infants, which are your babies, shall be dashed in pieces, and their woman with child shall be ripped up. So he don't play. The Lord is not playing. Okay. He's not playing. So these floods, think of it as the Lord's judgment. 2 Peter 2 and 1. It says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. So you better watch who you're listening to. Who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So even the false prophets, it says if the blind lead the blind, both of them shall fall into a ditch. And that's what's gonna happen. You following these people, and they're just gonna get you destroyed. Okay, they're gonna get you destroyed. Check time. I didn't even want to spend a whole hour. I couldn't even finish my thing. Hold on.
Devastation at the campsite, the beds in the cabins completely upended. An all-girls Christian summer camp that hosted over 750 kids.
As far as unknown other missing, we do not have an accurate count, and we don't even want to begin to estimate at this time.
The Guadalupe River rising 26 feet in less than an hour. This video showing some of the aftermath, debris stuck in the upper branches of these trees in Center Point, Texas.
Help is coming!
This woman clinging onto a tree after she was swept downriver. Lorena Guillen runs Howdy's restaurant nearby.
For the 4th of July in Kerrville.
These people are fucking full of shit, man. You know, these young girls, you know, the wicked, they do all types of wicked ass sacrifices, man. You know, and who's to say, oh, we'll help you, come with us, we got you. And they just came up, you know. This is why this word's important, man. Never trust your enemy, man. But if you don't see him as the damn devil, you're going to be put in a fucked up position out here. You're going to be in a basement somewhere. And watching the news, they're going to forget about you, man. They got a rescue search. Same people trying to find you are the same people who took you. Okay. Same thing.
When it was perfect weather for fireworks, this place was packed. I mean, every single hotel RV park was full.
She says all the RVs here were washed away.
We had all the EMS and rescue team trying to save a family that was at the river, clinging for life, and they couldn't get to them.
You heard them.
We all heard them.
This area got more than a foot of rain in a matter of hours, swelling the Guadalupe River, sending floodwaters streaming into neighborhoods and communities, overwhelming campgrounds.
You can see the absolute power of this storm and the raging floodwaters by looking just right behind me. You can see a trailer.
Look at that, man. Look at that. I just want to look up this word, Guadalupe. Guadalupe, I hope I spelled that right. The name Guadalupe, commonly associated with Our Lady of Guadalupe, has Spanish origins and is thought to mean River of the Wolf. That's spiritual as hell, because he's the wolf, man. It is also linked to the Arabic Latin words wadi, riverbed, and lupus, wolf. Respectively, the name is also tied to the Virgin Mary's appearance in Mexico and the shrine dedicated to her in Guadalupe, Spain, which is an idol. You ain't supposed to worship the Mother Mary. The wolf, man. Esau's the wolf. Jacob, you the sheep. Okay, let's get this in the book of John 10 and 12. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. As a matter of fact, no, that ain't the precept I'm looking for. I'm looking for sheep in the midst of wolves. Matthew 10 and 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So this wisdom is going to make you wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Because you're going to understand that the Lord's in creating, being obedient, you could be more confident that the Lord is dealing with you. You know, the more you have, the more the Lord reveals himself unto you with the understanding of the Bible, the more you I don't want to say it, you get stronger. You get stronger because you understand these things. You know, you're not going to be deceived anymore. You know, these tragedies that are happening, everything's happening for the elect's sake. Okay. Let me grab that precept I'm thinking about. Everything works together for good, something like that. Romans 8:20, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So when you understand these precepts and you see the judgment going out, hey, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Let me grab this in Job 4:7. Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? So, yeah, so we're all guilty of sin, man. And we don't know what we did in our past lives, but we just hope through every day it's mercy. No matter what happens to you, it's all mercy from the Lord, and it's righteous. Okay, we might not understand everything because our mind are not his mind. Okay, he knows what he's doing, and we just trust in his things and his judgments. Okay, Isaiah 55 verse 6, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. So he ain't operating with a human's mindset, man. He's the Most High for a reason.
Wrapped around this giant tree, and across the river, you can see what looks like a mobile home.
Pierce Boyette and his brother Ruffin managing to escape from nearby Camp Lahuna with the help of heroic staff.
The flood started getting bigger, and it was going up to, we had bunk beds in our cabins, and it was going up to the top bunk, and we had one choice, and we had to swim out of our cabins.
The White House monitoring the situation, the Trump administration saying they intend to help.
The federal government needs to be here for the support and extra resources on the ground as well, and that is what we are doing.
Maria Villarreal joining us now from Kerrville. Maria, we can see some of that debris behind you. Give us a sense of what people there in Texas are going to be facing in the hours ahead.
We know it as of right now. We do know the disaster declaration has been expanded for the state of Texas, adding 6 more new counties. The federal government also saying they're going to issue their own disaster declaration to help out as well. But as you just mentioned, this is all about the community. You can see right behind me, people are cleaning up. These are all volunteers doing whatever they can to pick up the debris, knowing that over the next few days, we're going to see more weather hitting this area.
A long and difficult road ahead. Maria, thank you. Let's go.
I dare you.
I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, that was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakha.